and welcome to the Leigh Sports Village ahead of the game against Bradford Bulls. I'm here in the company of Joe Wood, and Joe, it's an absolutely fantastic atmosphere.
It certainly is, yes, Dave. Bradford have got quite a few spectators with a big drum as the coaching staff from Bradford are walking across the field. It's supposedly hallowed turf, but all these away coaches never take any notice of our ground staff. So yeah, the north stand is pretty much full to our right hand side, and as you said, Dave, we're expecting a really tough game. We're also joined by Chris. He's made a welcome return. Looks like a bottle of milk, been on holiday to Mallorca, and he got sunburn in the backyard. Chris. Yeah,
he is about there somewhere. Hang on,
he's about there somewhere. I'll carry on talking while you sort him out. Are you there now, Chris?
Am I? I think I'm back.
He's there. He's the gremlins have been got rid of.
Yeah, I'm back from sunny Mallorca, and it's not too different here in Leigh. You know, I've certainly brought the weather back with me for today. Yeah, he's looking really good, and it sets us up nicely for what should be a big game. It's a big game for Leigh. It's an even bigger one for Bradford. They simply, in my eyes, they simply have to win this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be a real dent in their top four hopes, which would in turn give Leigh a great boost. Obviously, a win for Leigh and a defeat for London would see a third consecutive League Leaders Shield come to the LSV, and
that's true, as you said, Chris. I see Neil Dukes, I think it was last week on our interview after the game down in London, he said because Bradford had lost, they'd be like a wounded animal because they've dropped out of the top four. So as you've just said, it's a must-win game for Bradford. Similarly, it's a must-win game for Leigh Centurions, but Bradford will be really keyed up for it, so we've got to meet fire with fire early doors. The referee is Mr. Chris Campbell, so hopefully he'll keep good control of it, Dave.
Joe, do you want to take us through the teams as well,
I'll
sir?
run through the team. Shall start in with Leigh Centurions. Starting at full-back is number 26, Lee Smith. Number 2, Adam Higson, and number 5, Liam Cater on the wings. Centres again are number 3, Greg Worthington, and number 4, Tom Armstrong. Same half-back pair in, number 36, Josh Drinkwater, and number 38, Travis Burns. And again the same starting pack, number 8, Fui Moi Moi, 14, Mickey Iam, 10, Dane Weston, and in the back three is number 16, Rennie Matua, number 13, Corey Patterson, and number 12, Gareth Hawke. And on the bench for us this week is number 6, Martin Ridyard, number 11, Harrison Hanson, number 20, Sam Hopkins, and number 35, Brad Fash. And as I say, Dave, if you want to go through the Bradford Bulls team.
Yeah, Bradford line up with Kieran Moss at full-back. It's a back line of James Clare, Matty Blythe, Chris Wellerman and Mari Caro. At half-back it's Danny Addy alongside Oscar Thomas. And the front row it's Ben Kavanagh, Stuart Howarth, the man on loan, and Adam Sidlow. A back row of Joe Philbin, also on loan from Warrington, Kurt Haggerty and Tom Albison, with a bench that features Adam O'Brien, Jay Pitts, Apalami Luaki and Alex Meller. Our referee, as was mentioned before, Mr. Chris Campbell, who's joined the ranks of the full-time refs in Super League. We're almost ready for kick-off. Let's just give a few mentions to a few people while we're at it here on Mixler. You're listening to us via mixler.com/Leigh Centurions, and hopefully watching us on Leigh Centurions TV a little bit later in the week. So Ben Harrison has joined us, Mick Barrett is tuned in from Tenerife, Hot Pot has joined us from sunny Spain waiting for kick-off, Dazzy B is here in Catalonia. Dazzy B, Ruth Pilkington ready for and smash. Come on, Leigh.
Good stuff. I'll just a couple of mentions as well, Dave. I'll mention them later on because we're hoping for a bit of sponsorship from these people. Evans Alshaw, Vauxhall, Liam Wigan, Neil Bassett, who does a lot down here for Leigh Centurions, and also another car company, Preston Audi, Neil Henderson. I think they're one of the sponsorships during today's game, and also big mention for Leigh Miners Rangers, who won at York Acorn yesterday 36-34, and also Leigh East, who won over at Dewsbury Celtic where you was, Dave, 74-6 if that's right.
Well done.
Two big wins for both our local amateur team. And also finally next week, part of the Steve Prescott Foundation, Leigh Miners Rangers playing Wathborough 9th of July down at Twist Lane, and I believe Steve Prescott's wife and possibly Paul Sculthorpe are in attendance for that game next week. So both teams are coming out on the field. Leigh Centurions being led out by I think it's Leigh Miners Rangers under 8s or under 9, so we're being drowned out by both sets of spectators, and hopefully that can continue during this great game what's going to be taking place here at Leigh Sports Village.
Well, I can hear you loud enough, Joe, so that's okay for us, and I'm sure everybody at home or wherever you're listening from. For example, let's just have a look. Munster Carpets has joined us from Limerick. Hello from Kent, says Linda Blunsom. Danny and Rob are listening in from Rhodes in Greece. David Smith is listening in from Darlington. And Michael Cassidy is listening at the home of the Centurions. That's Rome, Italy.
Very good. So it looks like Bradford are playing in black, red and yellow shirts, predominantly black and black shorts, and Leigh are in the normal red shirts, white shorts. Mr. Campbell is all ready to go, as same as everybody else is ready to go. Really looking forward to this game. I've got the finger on the Joe Wood stopwatch, Dave. Hopefully you've got your stopwatch just as a backup.
As a backup,
Chris
always.
is ready, pen in hand. He'll be keeping track of the other games around the championship, and away we go. Bradford kick off. Leigh first touch of the ball.
Lee Smith pouches it, sends Dane Weston charging back, and he gets 15 metres from his own line. Out on this left hand side of the field, 10 metres in from touch. It's Rennie Matua with the next carry up to the 20 metre line, controlled in a 3-man tackle there. In around the midway with Stuart Howarth. Mickey Iam scoops up from dummy half, sends Fui Moi charging forward to the 30 metre line, down centre ground, 0-0 if you're just joining us. Game's just kicked off. Leigh midway through their first set of possession as Burns brings it across right, links with Patterson, who's been in some supreme form recently, gets to the 40 metre line over on the right hand side of the field. Oops, Mickey Iam, little slip, and that's an error from Mickey, a rare one at that, because he picked it up from dummy half, dummied as if he was going to pass it, and just lost all of the ball.
Yeah, unfortunate for Mickey there to make a mistake. I spoke to him on the way in, and I think he's really keyed up with all the Leigh players, really keyed up. It's a must-win game for us, and an even must-win game for Bradford Bulls. So the spectators really got the voices going there, and as I said, the drums going. Bradford attacking scrum.
Leigh actually
got the ball out of the scrum.
Yeah, well, they wheeled the scrum, didn't they?
Wheeled the scrum like a rugby union scrum.
It did, and it was all very messy. Referee jumped in there, says we can't be having a scrum going against the head. That just doesn't happen in modern rugby league. Just a couple of minutes into the game, Bradford with this put in 40 metres away from the Leigh line. Referee almost joining in with the front rows there. I remember Chris Campbell being a winger though.
Yeah,
surely he wasn't in that position. Here's Matty Blythe, carries the battle in for Bradford, in centre field now, controlled to the tip by Rennie Matua, ball put to the right hand side to Joe Philbin, almost as tall as he is broad, and he gets to the 30 metre line, 15 metres in from touch. Next the run is in by Sidlow. Sidlow runs for the 20 metre line, tough hit there coming in from... I'll just let the crowd
down.
Just like the crowd noise died down there as Fui Mai it was who forced the error.
Yeah, real good tackling stint there, and we've redeemed ourselves there. We've not let Bradford complete that set of 6, so that will be good for us, and let's hope we're in good ball position here. We can play the set of 6, probably settle down a bit. Let's see where we go with this first set of 6.
Yeah, because both sides have obviously come up with errors on the first play, and today, with both teams being so evenly matched, you find that it's going to be set completion that wins the game, and whoever completes the first set is really going to start to settle into the game, as Gareth Hawk takes one in for Leigh, just getting 35 metres from their own line now.
Solid drive, heel plate to Adam Hickson. Hickson's been in great form, one of only 2 ever present so far this season, and he gets to the 40 metre line, plays it in the middle of the field to Hyam, who sends it left with Weston runs for the halfway line, doesn't quite reach it. Joe Philbin gets hold of him along with Sidlow. It's played to Mickey Hyam, who tosses the ball to his right to Burns, who drops it off looking for Fui Moi. Good yards from Moi. Up to the 40 metre line inside the Bradford half. Last tackle signal, it's sent right. Burns dabs it over the top. Good positioning there from Amari Caro. He'll launch the counter attack. Takes on Hickson. Hickson brings him down with the help over on that side of the field of it was Tom Armstrong, wasn't it? Bradford in possession, 22 metres away from their own line. Patterson lucky not to be penalised there, he was holding on. Next tackle comes in, a double one from Hyam and from Moi. Bradford still only up to their own 30-metre line. Here's Matty Blythe in centre field, resting his way forward for a 5-metre gain. In at dummy half is Howarth. He passes to the right-hand side, looking for James Clare, who's been in some great form. Signed a new contract with Bradford. He offloads, finds Matty Blythe. Referee says that he shouted held and asked him to play the ball, but he's pinched 2 metres there.
Yeah.
Referee's surely got to point him back to the spot, which he does. Last tackle has been reached. Howarth moves it left. Thomas releases the trigger, sends a long kick downfield, which will bounce and bobble and just trickle out of play.
Yeah, would you think that's a good play, Dave, to kick the ball out, or would you like somebody to pick it up, and Adam Mixon's going to get a free run, whereas he's not under pressure as such. He dummies to Liam Kay, and well met there by two Bradford players. He'd probably give it Liam next time.
Yeah, I think here's Liam Kay now with the run, makes about 5 metres. I don't think it's particularly bad play by Bradford, kicking the ball dead, because they can get set, can't they, on the 30-metre line, and Leigh struggling to get forward, but they found an offload from Hock, and Burns fires it into Moi. Moi will play it just outside his own 30, plays it quickly to Burns, who sends it right to Patterson. Patterson picks up the pace and gets towards halfway, where he's put down by 2, but a quick play the ball finds Mickey Hyam, who scoots and darts from the middle, gained a good 10 metres, gets an offload back to Burns. It's then sent left to Drinkwater. Drinkwater dabs it over the top, in behind, and it's cleaned up at the back there by Moss, who fires the counter-attack, and he too finds James Clare, and Clare runs out to his own 20-metre line. That's where the movement stops. Burns involved in the tackle, so too Gareth Hock. Now Oscar Thomas tiptoeing through the tulips, then gets a risky offload back to Howarth, and Howarth is going nowhere. Great defence there from Fui Moi. 30 metres from their own line here, Bradford. Matty Blythe releases it, then it's passed back out of the tackle by Philbin. He won't thank his players for that. And there's Clare rolled over on his back. He's entitled to do that. He didn't want to get up. He took a voluntary tackle there, to be honest, as Howarth comes out of dummy half, kicks forward, goes over the top of Smith. Smith will pick it up 5 metres from his own line, gets to the 20, solid surge, he's brought the tackle, he's down to the 30-metre line, plays it 35 out from his own line, plays it to Liam Kay. Liam Kay curves into the middle, gained a good 10 metres. The North stand screaming for a penalty that doesn't come, but Hyam darts away again. It's another 10 metres gain. These are good yards from Leigh.
Exactly so, Dave. That's just what I was going to say.
They've won a penalty as well.
Yeah.
Mickey Hyam bundled over by Stuart Howarth, and the first penalty of the game goes the way of the Centurions.
Yeah, they're not moving away from the quick play of the ball, which Leigh really thrive on. Bradford are trying to slow us down. Everybody knows that they can't live with us when we get these quick play of the balls, and Mickey Hyam is really pushing along and trying to get everybody going as Tom Armstrong takes the first tap. Rennie Matua takes 1. Good yards again by Rennie. We're really trying to quicken everything up, make sure Bradford can't live with us. Dane Weston next.
Good run to the 10. Rattled to the floor by 3, but Leigh inside that 10, just to the left hand side of the post. Hyam switches point of attack. Burns brings it left. Drinkwater onto Smith. Leigh Smith with the line, and Leigh Smith has got there. He slid his way over. That's his 11th try of the season, and Leigh have opened the scoring just minutes into this game. 7.5 minutes on the scoreboard, and Leigh are on the scoreboard as well.
Yeah, good yards there by everybody in the pack and all the forwards. Doing really well. Dave's just trying to strangle me here. We're just having a few problems with our headsets, but hopefully we're going to be back in tandem and the gremlins will be gone. But yeah, first real time we've been down there, Dave, and we've attacked. As I said, Mickey Hyam is really pushing our forwards along to try and just gain the upper hand, which is what we've just done at the moment. Pick it up there, Chris.
There's certainly no gremlins in the Leigh attack. Really well played. You saw Burns come to orchestrate a switch play, and the link up between Burns and Drinkwater has been really impressive in recent weeks. And then when you've got Leigh Smith coming in at fullback there, and he's used Liam Kay's position there to bamboozle the defence, and he's just gone through a gaping hole and finished well, and he can make it a 6-pointer against a team that he will have loved playing against in his Leeds days. And You know, he started well in attack there, finishing that really well structured move.
Yeah, as you say, Chris, let's hope that Leigh Smith can add the 2 points onto his 4-pointer, the try he scored. As I said many times, they just can't no team can live with us, and what we've got to think that when the middle eights come along, this will be custom and practice, because the Super League teams as are going to be playing us in the middle eights will be used to this speed, so we've got to work at that from now until the middle eights take place, as everybody just waiting for Leigh Smith's attempted conversion, and he pulls it to the left hand post. So at the moment we're just over 9 minutes in. It's Leigh Centurions 4, Bradford Bulls 0.
Just to give a couple of mentions to people listening in from elsewhere in the world. Bernie Beaumont Moore is listening in from Spain. Craig is listening in from Corfu. Vancouver Lather joins us from Vancouver, strangely enough.
Good stuff. And as I said in our chat before today, when we were down in London, 2 or 3 people did pick us out in the crowd, which much appreciated your comments, especially a gentleman from Cambridge who, unfortunately, because he lives down there, that's the only game he really gets to, but he listens to us religiously every week, so nice to hear from the people on Mixler.
The kick-off finds Leigh Smith, and Leigh Smith takes a dive at the defence, almost gets his way through again. He's definitely started off on fire as the chant goes, and here's Greg Worthington, another man who's been in supreme form over the last month, takes the tackle of 3. They're dancing with him, he's not going down, eventually he does. 35 metres away from his own line, plays it to Hyam, who scoops it in field for Weston. Weston plays it off to Fui Moi Moi, bounces off 2 tacklers up to the halfway line. Leigh,
yeah, they just had all of his bootlaces, didn't they? Quick play the ball, Gazok takes the next one off.
Blimey,
he's come back refreshed, hasn't he, Gazok?
Leigh have started this game at such a pace, it's like watching London again. But the mistake has come in from Gaz Hock there. Well forced, to be honest, by Adam Sidlow in the challenge.
Yeah, but unfortunate for Gaz, knocked on the about 11 metres, 12 metres just inside Bradford's half, but it'll be a scrum down Bradford's head and feet.
Chris, your thoughts?
Bit of respite for Bradford.
Yeah, like you say there, Joe, a bit of respite for Bradford. Leigh have come out as you guys saw at London, and you know, Bradford need to get a foothold back in it now, because Leigh are starting to go through the motions, and especially with a latest score of Halifax already 10-0 up at Swinton inside 10 minutes, you know, with that scoreline makes it even more important that Bradford get into this game soon, and they've got an opportunity to do that now with a penalty.
He's conned that penalty.
Hands in, yeah, I think he has, Dave.
Absolutely conned it there as Matty Blythe.
Yeah, because René Matua dropped off, and Josh Drinkwater and Greg Worthington were involved in the tackle, and I think they're just having a quiet word with this touch judge on the near side. As you say, I think it was a con, so a cheap penalty for Bradford, and they'll restart right on the halfway line.
Yeah, Howarth taps it, Addy gets involved, puts it inside looking for Sidlow, who's controlled to the deck by a 3-man challenge. Leading the way was Mickey Hyam, who's found himself underneath the tackle man. Ball played to Howarth, who sends it on. Oh, it's knocked on by Thomas, scooped up there by Moss, but he's knocked on as well. It's then been picked up and cleaned up there by Haggerty, who tosses the ball away in disgust. And Leigh seems to have Bradford rattled at the moment. Yeah. It's ferocious, this defence.
It certainly is. It certainly, and as Chris has said, we did see and commented about that down in London, and talking to a couple of the backroom staff in London, Jamie Langley and Mick Eccles, who's the fitness coach, they actually commented both separately to me that they couldn't live with the speed and the size of Leigh Centurions, so hopefully Bradford will be in the same boat as London, so they'll be able to live with us.
Let's see if the Centurions can launch an attack from halfway. Here's Armstrong cutting through the middle, makes 5 or 6 metres before being wrestled to the ground by Philbin. Ball put left to Worthington. Worthington takes a drive 20 metres away from touch. He plays it to Hyam, who tosses infield again looking for Drinkwater, who finds Hawk, who gets it out to Burns. Burns juggled with it, but then takes on the defence, still manages to wrestle his way forward a couple of metres.
Patterson was on his shoulder, but he said he was just juggling with it a bit, was Travis.
Hyam moves it infield for Weston with the footwork, it carries him inside the 20. There's 3 men on him again, and they're struggling to hold him. Quick play, the ball needed and provided. Hyam puts it right to Burns through the hands to Smith all the way out to Higson. That's been palmed down by Bradford, and it's going to be a head and feed with a scrum to the Leigh Centurions. 4-0 still.
Yeah, 4-0 still.
To Leigh, finish.
And pressure still, as you said, Dave, knocked down by the Bradford winger or centre, so Adam Hickson didn't really rush to retain the ball. Scrum down 10 metres from Bradford's line, our head and feed. Let's have a see what we can come up with this attack, playing from right to left at Leigh Sports Village.
Featherstone have taken the lead in their game as well. They're 4-0 up, and they'll be breathing down the necks of Bradford as well. And I tell you what, one thing that I've already noticed, just quickly, you can tell that Leigh have got Super League quality halfbacks, and Bradford at the minute don't. They've got a loose forward and a fullback playing in the halves, and at the minute it's telling as Leigh come down this left hand side with Worthington, who's wrapped up at the minute.
Yeah, gets 5 metres out from the try line, does Worthington. He's got Armstrong for company. Ball played to him. Ball passed infield to Drinkwater. Quickly gets rid of it to Rennie Maturi. Bounces off 2. Tries to bounce off a 3rd. Has his hand free for an offload. Nobody wanted
right
it.
And sticking all of it. Let's build again from that one.
Leigh 10 metres away from the line. It's Drinkwater cutting to the
Great
right.
ball.
Feeds it on to Hawk. Has Hawk got there? He has. That's Gareth Hawk in for his second try of the season. Leigh 8-0 to the good, and the Bulls nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, what it was there, Dave, Josh Drinkwater dropped in as first man normally from that position. You have Mickey Iron and 2 forwards running. They spied the chance. Josh Drinkwater took control, ran at the Bradford line, 2 or 3 metres away, good short ball, Gazok. Nobody's going to stop Gaz from that range. So just what we needed, back down on Bradford's line, in Bradford's face. Another try, bit easier conversion for Leigh Smith, so hopefully we could be 10-0 to the good, and only 15 minutes into this game at Leigh Sports Village, Chris.
And I was just saying about the Super League class that we have in the halves there, and Drinkwater's timing of that pass for the run of Gareth Hawk is perfect there, and you know he could quite easy. A lot of the time you would see a halfback there just put it onto the next pivot to go wide, but he's just chosen the perfect pass there, and Gareth Hawk's gone through. And again, that's what I say, having those 2 players in there, as good as Ben Reynolds and Martin Ridgard were and are still, these 2 are starting to look quite brilliant together, as Leigh Smith adds that one, so that's 10-0 to the Centurions.
Yeah, Dave, you actually commented down in London. You said that Paul Cooke came down in London and had a word with both half-backs, and they both nodded their head together. They're both, as Chris has said, they're both playing a lot more together. They're getting used to playing together. Josh Drinkwater there, one of the old-fashioned half-backs, running at the line, taking them on. As Chris has just said, normally it's pivot to pivot and the ball goes out wide, a lead runner. But he actually run at the line and made the gap for Gazok, and Gaz, great try. The ball goes
dead. Back on, out on the full from the restart. It's going from bad to worse for Bradford.
Yeah, we actually
second penalty of the game for Leigh.
Commented in our chat early on how we see kickers practicing. I actually mentioned Jared Sammett. He did that for Workington a couple of weeks ago, and Leigh are going to be on the attack again as Travis Burns will kick to the west stand. Just gets the ball into touch. Nothing stupid, no great yards, just enough to start another attack.
He was aiming to see if those young kids from Leigh Minors under 8s could catch the ball, and they did.
Good stuff.
Great stuff from the crowd.
Yep, so there's a couple of balls knocking about. We're back to a 1 ball low.
Leigh start this attack 30 metres from the try line. Straight away they chalk off 10 of them through Patterson, who gets inside the 20 over on that right hand side. It's brought to the middle with Burns, who drops it back for Fui Moi, who runs to the 10 and is eventually stopped by 3. He plays it quickly though to Hyam, who sends it left to Burns out to Drinkwater, short ball there. That was a great tackle from Matty Blythe on Rennie Matua. It stops him dead in his tracks, and there's a knock on there from Rennie as well. That's a massive hit.
Yeah,
and
it was.
Saved the try.
I think that a bone crunching tackle there, and as you say, it jolted the ball free from Rennie's hands. So a bit fortunate for Bradford, because they was under the cosh again with this constantly attack. So everybody gets a breather, and Bradford will try and bring the ball away from about 8 metres from the scrum from their line. As I said, Chris, we keep laying them off the out a couple of times. Rennie's lost the ball there. we've got to keep them under this constant pressure, haven't we?
Yeah, got to give the credit where it's due though. It was good defence from Blythe and Philbin coming in there. Incidentally, Philbin was in the year above me at high school, so I know him quite well.
Good.
And it was good defence from him there. But yeah, Leigh are carving out opportunities, and they're spending a lot of time in that danger zone for the Bradford Bulls, and we haven't seen Bradford down in our danger zone. Can they get something now? They've got a penalty, and they've got to make this opportunity count now, because Halifax are 16-0 up already against Swinton,
right.
So they're flying in that one. London are winning as well, so it's all going the way of the top four at the moment.
I just spoke, so that's a good touch finder found by Danny Addy, and they're in the Leigh half the field. They're going to tap it 35 metres away from the Leigh line. Howarth looks around seeing what's on, launches Sidlow at the defence. Good tackle, Rennie Matua. In there for company is Weston, and it's going to be played by Sidlow. Howarth then finds the on-rushing Ben Kavanagh. Spent a good stint with Widnes. He's up to the 10-metre line. Plays it to Howarth, who darts right, links with Addy. Addy throws a dummy. Addy spins past one, gets past another, feeds it infield to Oscar Thomas. Great hit coming in there by Patterson to stop the movement. 5 metres away from the try line, Bradford, though. It's the first time we've seen them as Howarth puts it left. Sidlow keeps it moving all the way out. Long ball from Danny Addy, and they're in at the corner. It's Amari Caro, 15th try of the season for him, and Bradford back in it at 10 points to 4.
Yeah, they just shipped the ball out. It's a long ball, and caught Adam Hickson just 2 or 3 metres away from the touchline, and was quick in that corner, couldn't quite recover, and I can see straight away there's going to be a Leigh substitution. I think it's Sam Hopkins. He's going to be coming on probably for Fua, which Fua's just walking from the field. He's done a good he's virtually 20 minutes on the clock, so he's done well as Fua. Couple of dancing moves there. Daniel had it. Corey Patterson chopped Oscar Thomas down there, Chris. He was lucky as they didn't score by the post. As it is, they scored right out on the touchline. Yeah,
and little efforts like that could be the difference. But you've got to say it is great play from Danny Addy, first with the footwork to almost open it up for Oscar Thomas, and then to pick out the ball for Caro. Leigh were a little short of numbers on that side, and it enabled just a long looping pass to find the winger Caro to finish, and Bradford are back in it with really the first real chance that they've created. That'll be a slight worry for Neil Juice that they've managed to do that, but I still think we're looking more dominant down the middle, and especially Corey Patterson. He's been brilliant in defence and attack so far, and hopefully we can keep that going.
Yeah, that's true. So
Danny Addy with the
conversion attempt.
69 goals for him this season.
I'm noticing that the Bradford coaching staff are situated to our left, Dave.
Yeah, they're all stood up. Not one of them's wearing a bib. Oh, that's waved away from Danny Addy. So 10 points to 4 is how it remains here.
10 points to 4, and the cameraman's got his hood up. He must be feeling the cold here in this stand.
Does he not realise this is the warmest it gets up here? We're sitting here in shirt sleeves,
Yeah, so we're roughly, 21 and a half minutes in as I speak, Dave, and
I think that's just given notice to Leigh, though, that they can't rest on the laurels against this Bradford side. They've got to remain squeaky clean, not concede penalties,
and try and restrict them down in this left-hand corner.
So Bradford have the ball back, 15 metres away from their own line. Philbin runs and makes the 20. Wrestled to the ground by Hyam. Over the top there was Weston. Then it's Olvison with the drive downfield to the 30. He'll play it to Howarth. Long ball left for Thomas, who then puts it left onto Haggerty, who's wrestled high by Hock, but he gets away with it.
Yeah, I think there was a couple of appeals for a high shot there.
It comes in from Addy, it's out on the full.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that was great pressure
Great
from
pressure off
Gazhok.
Yeah, I think Kurt Haggerty was appealing to Mr. Campbell, the referee, for an alleged eye shot off Gareth Hock, but because it's Gareth Hock, the crowd go wild. But again, as you said, Dave, good pressure from the said Gareth Hock on Daniel Addy, and he puts the ball out on the full.
What it means is Leigh ball 40 metres away from the Bradford line.
Exactly so.
Really,
good pressure.
Really fine field position this, and try saying that after a couple of pints.
Halifax have scored again, by the way. They're 22-0 up after 24 minutes. They're flying in that one.
Leigh feeding the ball down the right hand side. Here's Armstrong. Armstrong rolled over on his back after making 5 metres at the defence, way over on that right hand side. Hickson puts it in field to Burns, and Burns finds Patterson, and Patterson keeps the big pistons pumping. 25 metres out from the line of Leigh. Burns again, long ball left. Oh, it's opening up again for the Centurions. Leigh Smith palms it on there for Worthington. Worthington gets away from 2. He's into the middle of the field. He's beat a 4th man. He's into the middle. He's lost the ball, but it's gone backwards to Burns. Burns is on the right hand side of the field. Threads a kick forward, and thankfully it's going to be dived upon from a Bradford point of view by Kieran Moss. They're under pressure here, the Bulls. Can Leigh force a turnover and force an error? Amari Caro is going nowhere. He's offloaded. It's been offloaded again. And they're keeping it moving, but that is just crazy play there from Oscar Thomas. The winger are coming off his wing to lend his weight to the challenge. He got bundled back inside the field, the in-goal area. The ball was released. That is just crazy play, Bradford Bulls.
Yeah, I think as you said, I think it was Oscar Thomas who, out of the corner of his eye, could see a black shirt, but it was actually the Bradford sub waiting to come on. He passed to the winger, who was Peter Brady, the invisible man. He wasn't there, Dave.
You see some things in rugby league, but I tell you what, that was just bizarre.
It's just a complete brain explosion. That just keep hold of it, take him on. You know, he's got pace. He could have quite easily got a few metres downfield and relieved some pressure. Instead, he's given Leigh a great opportunity here to.
Yeah, Leigh will fancy it. Next six tackles, won't they?
6 tackles down here.
So it comes out of the scrum. Rennie Matua takes the first run, centres the move. It's a good run. He's got 3 players on him. He's still pumping the legs. He's 2 metres out from the try line. Higher moves into dummy half. He'll dummy and try to push his way over the line. He's got to the line and he's held up.
Held up, Dave.
Held up is the decision.
Quick though, was Mickey.
He's back to the 10 metre line. He wants to play it. Drinkwater at dummy half. He puts it right to Weston, who finds Burns. Burns fires it out to Hock. Hock is running. They can't hold Hock. There's 3 on him. Eventually they stop him 5 metres away from the try line, over on the right hand side of the field. Ball's played quickly. It's into the middle with Burns again. Low pass there, found Weston. Bradford fans thought it were forward. Weston's inside the 10. He's inside the 5. He's rolled over on his back. Plays for a penalty. It's not forthcoming. Hyam sends it left. Drinkwater out the back. Oh, and then it's going to be palmed down. Drinkwater put the ball out to Leigh Smith. I thought it was going to be a try for Liam Kay in the corner, but thankfully for Bradford again, James Clare snuck an arm out, palmed the ball down, and it's more possession for Leigh.
They are certainly hanging on.
10 points to 4.
Certainly hanging on. So as you said, Dave, constant pressure again from Leigh Centurion. We must get some more points on the board, and I can see Josh Drinkwater just having a quiet word with Mickey Hyam. They might be scheming, thinking there's something to this blind side.
Oh, they are.
It is.
And here's Worthington taking 2 on, gets away from 2, gets away from a 3rd. He'll dive for the line. He'll beat the line. It's a 6th try of the season. Greg Worthington, have some of that, Bradford.
Yeah, definitely. Greg is such a rich vein. We gave him the man of the match down in London last week, deservedly so, and he's probably knocking on the door again because he just batted 3-4 Bradford players out the way. I think everybody thought that the ball was going to come out wide to Liam Kay, but he just swiveled and shaky hips, and he was in. Right slap bang in the middle, halfway between the corner flag and the goal post. As I said, Dave, we need this pressure, we need the points, and thankfully we've got another 4 on the board.
He's just swatted the defenders away like flies there. He's just pushing them away, and then he got a good bit of footwork to dive over, and he's in such good form. I always thought that he was a good signing when he came to the club last year, and he's never been one who's been a prolific try scorer until the last few weeks, where he scores near enough every opportunity he gets, and he's working really well. You'd expect him to actually be on the opposite side. We're giving last season's partnership between Armstrong and Kay, but Worthington's making this left channel his own, and
he certainly is.
He's working so well with Drinkwater.
He certainly is, but Chris, I don't know if you heard it or not, but people keep saying to me that myself and Dave aren't really biased. Not really, when Mr. Ferguson's coming out with have some of that. He's lost for words. He's put his microphone down. He can't speak. So we've just got to keep waffling until he gets his composure back.
I can't speak. Here's Smith. as he got the composure to slot this one between the posts. He's missed it. He's fluffed these lines, but Leigh lead by 14 points to 4.
Yeah, interesting, Dave, just looking through how I got a bit of a breather. No Liam Hood and Ben Evans from the London team last week. I know that it was in the papers that there was in discussion about keeping all of Ben Evans, but whether Warrington have Shepherd Zook pulled him back, and I don't really know why Liam Hood hasn't been included, because Martin Ridyard's starting on the bench. Anyway, Daniel Addy tries again to restart.
Tries to outfox Smith, doesn't. Weston back at the defence. Big run from Weston up to the 20-metre line. Bashed his way through 3 there. And he'll play the ball to Liam Kay.
Weston with his new hairstyle. Dane there.
It's army regulation, that, isn't it?
It certainly is.
The buzz cut.
He's had that done, and Fu is all platted as he's off the field from...
Here's Hopkins, plays it off to Burns. Burns out to Smith, who brushes away from 2. He's up to the 40-metre line. Still inside their own half here, Leigh. 15 metres away from touch. He's played quickly. Armstrong takes it right. That was a horrible ball. And I thought for a second referee was playing on. Patterson is shepherded out of play anyway, but the referee
pass, hasn't he?
Looked up to the touch judge, who he got that late call, didn't he? Did the referee? And
that's
it's the right call, I think.
I must agree, Dave. The right call, probably the wrong call from Tom to go down that side, and you say a woeful pass to Corey. So Bradford will get a scrum down about 5 or 6 metres just inside Leigh's half, and they'll give them a chance to attack.
We're being asked about a guesstimate on the crowd here, Joe, and it's a well-populated north stand. There's not that much room left in it.
No, I should...
the ground's open on 3 sides.
Yeah.
It's upwards of 5,000 easily.
I would have said, yeah.
So the ball played by Blythe. It's sent down the right-hand side, and there's Mellor. Saw him play the other week at Oldham and had a big effort there, did Mellor. Hasn't been a regular in the Bradford lineup over the course of the season, but in this afternoon there is a regular in Albison who runs past the 30, plays it in centre field to Howarth. It's put left to Thomas, who turns it back on the inside to Sidlow. Sidlow thought of an offload, but I think it was cut off there at the pass by Sam Hopkins. Ball put left to Thomas, through the hands onto Wellham. And then this time it's Leigh who palmed the ball down. Good defensive read there by Adam Higson. He was outnumbered 2-1 and came up with the defensive read.
Tom Armstrong got stranded a bit there, and as you say, Adam Higson rescued him by getting the ball knocked down, and a bit more pressure for Leigh. I can see Paul Anderson's coming on with a couple of instructions for a couple of the people. Probably just a pat on the back to Tom Armstrong and say, just be a bit wary. And just watch that they don't go blind this time here. So Bradford are going to get head and feet on Leigh's 10-metre line. The ball comes out wide to Daniel Addy, to Oscar Thomas, who steps inside, and he's well covered there.
Good tackle, Rennie Matua. At dummy half is Danny Addy. Passes infield to Thomas. Thomas releases it back to Philbin. Philbin takes on Hawk. He's not getting past him. The 5 metres away from the line though. Ball's gone out.
Ball's loose.
Penalty conceded by the Centurions. 3rd penalty for Bradford.
Yeah, and it's a bit hard to see whether it was Gaz's hand just snaked in, but more pressure on Leigh's line.
So they play it out the back to Moss. Moss tries to round a defender, falls to the tackle of Drinkwater. 7 metres away from the line. Oscar Thomas at dummy half, passes to his left hand side to Jay Pitts. The Bradford forward has been in a rich vein of form over recent months. Plays it to Howarth. Howarth, long ball.
Great tackle, Corey Patterson.
Patterson flew out of the line and flattened him. Leigh look a bit short down that right hand side though, and that's where Bradford send the ball. Offload comes in from Haggerty. They're still playing about with it. Here's Thomas, kicks for the posts, and it's picked up by Liam Kay. I don't think he'll thank Drinkwater, because Drinkwater backed out of getting that ball dead, didn't he?
Josh was thinking the ball could possibly have got over the dead ball line, but Liam, being probably a bit more experienced than Josh, decided to take matters in his own hand and take the ball out. So
it's a drop out from under the post. Good pressure forced by Bradford. Will they come up with anything on it?
Yeah, and I think that's that Dane Weston who's just been taken off, and Harrison Hanson, one of the joint skippers, is on the field. He'll show the defence up.
That's a long drop out over the halfway line. It goes from Smith straight into the arms of Sidlow. Sidlow picks his spot straight at Harrison Hanson, and Hanson wrestles him down with the help of Hopkins, with the help of Hawk. 30 metres away from the try line, Bradford. It's put left to Pitts. Pitts dummied, then straightened up, took it through the middle again, gained 5 metres, quick play the ball to Howarth. Howarth looks round, finds Philbin. Philbin fires it right to Addy. Addy short ball for Mellor. Mellor's inside the 20, wrestled by 2. Matua will make sure there's no offload. And it's played on the 10 metre line. Howarth finds an on-rushing Sidlow. Sidlow tackled around the ball area by Matua. 5 metres away from the try line, Bradford. Howarth fires it left. Oscar Thomas. Low pass infield. It comes to Moss. Moss for the try line. And Moss has gone and crashed his way through. Bradford have their second try. There was a delayed reaction from those Bradford fans. I don't think they realised he'd scored.
No, I don't think anybody did. I think they was looking for the referee's reaction. I've seen that a couple of times, Dave, that they're taking it wide and then bringing somebody at pace back on the inside, trying to disrupt the Leigh's line, which is what they've done. And as you said, he managed to scrape over the line. Kieran Moss, you mentioned previously, Dave, he's just come into the team and earning rave reviews, really.
He's got good pedigree. He's played in the NRL, played for Parramatta Eels.
Yeah.
And that was like old-fashioned fullback moves then on the inside, wasn't it? And he backed up that way and
just going back against the grain. So
I think Haggerty was involved as well as the link man, putting it back on the inside.
They clearly spotted something on that side though. Most of their attacks that have come off of, they scored 2 tries down that edge. Maybe they spotted something that they can exploit on that side as Danny Addy looks to add the extras.
And he does.
That makes it 14 points to 10
in favour of the Centurions.
34 minutes on the Joe Wood stopwatch.
Still plenty of time left in this first half. That's fired up the Bradford fans to our left.
Certainly has. So as we said previously, Dave, they are coming looking for these points because they desperately need them to get back into the top 4. So Leigh have got to be switched on the game for the remainder of this first half and certainly in the second half.
It's been good in patches.
Not going away.
It's been good in patches so far this first half, hasn't it?
It has.
But there's been 2 lapses and they've conceded 2 tries from the Centurions.
Yep, so Leigh Smith restarts and kicks the ball high, straight down the middle of the field.
That's caught in the wind as well. Caught by Clare. He brings it over the 20 metre line and wishes he hadn't. Straight into Matua and Hansen.
Yep.
Ouch. Now Matty Blythe with a run. Gain 5 metres, tough as you like through the middle. He'll play it to Howarth. Howarth to his left. Uses one of the big forwards. In fact, no, it's Caro off his wing.
Yeah, Brad Flash is on there. He's in the thick of it. He's replaced Gazot.
And here's Sidlow. Good run from him to the halfway line. After a quick play of the ball as well. Gets it. Howard sends it left. Oscar Thomas drops it on the toe. This one's going into the corner and it'll find the touchline. But that's a good set from Bradford Bulls to clear the lines and push the ball right up to the 10 metre line of the Leigh half.
Yeah, I can see I think it's Kurt Haggerty just applauding that end set for Bradford. As you said, the ball's gone into touch 10 metres from Leigh's line. It'll be a scrum down our head and feed. 35 minutes, nearly 36 minutes left on the clock, so 4 minutes to consolidate in this first half. Chris?
Yeah, it's important now that we do consolidate and we get up the other end if possible and just see this half out. There's not long of it left. We have been the better team. We've just got to make sure we get into half time with that advantage because Bradford, as we've mentioned, when they've had the ball down here, they have looked decent and scored two tries from that pressure.
Higson will play this ball quickly outside his 20 metre line. Liam Kay takes a run, tries to get through the middle, tries to wrestle with Epilami Luaki and also Pitts. Ball put right to Harrison Hansen. Big charge from him to clear to his own 40 metre line. 20 metres in from touch. He'll play it quickly to Hyam. Hyam spots a gap, then falls to the tackle. Plays it quickly though. Burns picks it up, sends it into the middle. Drinkwater will fire the ball downfield. Kieran Moss watches it all the way and he bounces up in his favour inside the 10. The fullback picks his spot to run it back, gets to the 20 before being flattened by a 2-man challenge. Well, a minute dummy half for Bradford. Still some defenders getting back on side as far as Bradford are concerned. Now everybody is back. Wellham picks and runs from dummy half again. Wrestled to the turf by Fash and by Patterson. Involved in everything good so far. Here's Blythe. You can chuck a blanket over all these Bradford players. Look at them on here. There's 8 players all on this right hand side of the field. As Apolami Luaki runs for the middle.
They don't seem to have a lot of ideas from deep, do they, at the moment? As you say,
No.
they're all bunched up, and you know, Oscar Thomas has put a half decent kick in, but it's
very touched.
He's
just
actually,
the right side.
Yeah, I couldn't really
flag.
tell because obviously the corner flag's red and everything behind it's red, so I couldn't really tell which side of it had gone. It turns out to be a very decent kick indeed from Thomas, but there weren't a lot of imagination in that set, so that says to me that they were playing for territory and hoping Leigh come up with a mistake.
The screw, yeah. I actually commented here in our chat before on Leigh Centurion TV and Mixler that it had said in the press there was against Halifax last week void of some real good attacking ideas, so they just probably think the defence can hold tight and pressurise as it's Leigh this week.
Hickson should have won a penalty there,
exactly
though.
so.
And a man all over him there. Now Liam Kay barrels his way forward for 10-15 metres, plays it to Armstrong. I mean, Leigh are doing exactly the same in bringing the ball out, but they do look like they've got a bit more structure with it.
Yeah, that's we noted that. You know, 3 of our
now Hanson over the halfway line.
3
Good
of our
yards from
backs
Leigh.
doing the yardage.
And Hyam picks up from dummy half. Looks for support. Doesn't need it. He's through the middle. Gets to the 20. Wow, great run there. And Bradford backpedaling.
They've won a penalty there.
It was cynical that from Pates. Just looked as though he just kept hold of him because he was sort of like last man, and it's probably actually not a bad idea for Leigh. They've opted to go for the 2, and that would give us that 6-point margin again.
We're in the last minute, so straight away I think Sean Forrest, one of our kit men, was sent on with the kicking tee straight away, and as you say, it's eating up the time. Paul Anderson's also on to encourage the lads to let's just finish this off. We're not quite sure how many added minutes will be in this first period with the timekeeper, Mr. Hawley's clock, because he's situated in the west stand and we're in the east stand. So Leigh Smith attempted to add 2 more points to the Leigh Centurions tally. He's virtually slap bang in the middle, so fingers crossed. It'll be 2 extra points, taking us to 16 points to 10 in this first period, and it's been hectic, frenetic. Where's it all gone?
It's been a quick half a rupee, that's for sure, and the Centurions now 16 points to 10 up thanks to the penalty from 25 metres by Leigh Smith.
Yeah, as I said, that's 40 minutes up on my clock. We're always open to sponsorship, and I'll mention them again: Evans, Olshaw, Vauxhall, Lee and Wigan, Mr. Neil Bassett, and Preston Audi, Mr. Neil Henderson, who are knocking on my door to sponsor us for next season.
Good news.
Fingers crossed, I'll keep plugging away at them. I'll get some money out to somebody somewhere along the line. Anybody who's open to sponsorship, just give us a quick mention.
So forward comes Brad Fash up towards the 20. That's where he's wrestled. They actually varied the kick-off there for a change.
Yeah. Adam Mixon picks up and makes good yards
and
again.
It is good yards. 10 hard-fought metres. Leigh playing this game at a greater intensity than Bradford as it's put left to Rennie Matua. Rennie Matua's got space in front of him, and he's got to the halfway line, and he's still going, and around his head. And it doesn't seem to matter because he'll play it anyway.
His neck.
Worthington infield to Drinkwater. Drinkwater looks round for fine Burns. Burns has men moving. Quick hands. Here's Tom Armstrong. Out the back there was Leigh Smith with the little pass to Armstrong, and Armstrong will play it 25 metres away from the line. Burns has it. Launches Harrison Hanson into the 20. Last tackle signalled. Take a 1-pointer.
Well,
I was just thinking that myself.
Good. Doesn't look like it. Here's Drinkwater. Kicks it low. Kicks it short. In behind the in-goal area it goes. James Clare has work to do, does it superbly, gets inside the field of play, but then gets bundled towards the in-goal area again.
But he's actually done it, said his foot was over the dead ball line.
So it is going to be a dropout from under the post.
So the referee saw that, and so, you know, the Bradford crowd directly behind him, how can they boo him when Mr. Campbell was right on the spot? So he must have seen that. So, you know, that's they must have. Right, Kieran, our cameraman, saying they can't see. They must have the wrong coloured glasses on. because we've got our red tinted glasses on here. So Bradford will restart with a dropout from underneath the post.
And it catches in the wind, only goes 45 metres, taken in by Drinkwater. Fast picks his spot. And he still wrestles after contact. He's a really impressive young man.
He certainly is.
He's
for the
fast,
size of him.
Plays it on the 30 metre line. Hyam scoops it to the right. Hanson goes inside the 20. I tell you what, Leigh could be lining up for another try here. As Hyam finds Burns, who finds Drinkwater, who puts it left to Smith. And he's the meat in the Bradford sandwich, but slips it out to Worthington. Worthington steps on the inside again. He's still going. He's 5 metres away from the try line. Matua at dummy half, fires it into the middle with Drinkwater. Drinkwater then finds Hanson. Hanson dummies, wants to offload. Ball goes loose. It's a knock on from Hanson. And Apalami Luaki will take the thanks of his team.
Yeah, I think H was caught in two minds there, Dave. He was looking, did he pass, did he keep hold of the ball? And those two minds, unfortunately, the ball was grapple free from his grasp, and a let off for the Bradford line there. We're in the hands of the timekeeper now, 43 minutes on my stopwatch, so let's just hope that we can just contain Bradford down here underneath their own post for the remainder of this first half.
Obviously Bradford full time, so they won't fatigue in quite the same way as some of the part-time teams do. They'll keep coming.
Yeah, that's true, and Mr. Smith, Rowan Smith, is situated to our left.
That's a good tackle on Amari Caro.
I wonder what his thoughts will be in the half-time period.
Now Wellham takes a drive from dummy half to get to his own 20 metre line. Bradford fans baying for blood, calling for a penalty as Caro picks it up. He's going nowhere. Leigh hunting in a pack there. 3 players brought him down. Hyam the last man up. Is Haggerty. Quiet first half from Kurt Haggerty, it must be said, but we know what an influence he had at Odsal as Addy puts it through the hands to Apalami Luaki on the right, brushes away from 2. Patterson brings him down with the help of Hanson.
H was into right in his face.
40 metres away from their own line. Kick comes in on the last. It's not a 40-20. It's kicked in behind Smith, who chases back inside his 20 to collect. Fires a long ball to his right to find Hickson. Hickson tries to get around Thomas. Can't get out of the clutches there of Wellham. Wellham brings him down to the 10 metre line. Ball played to Leigh Smith, who dummies. Brings it forward to the 20.
We've just got to
finds
control
his front.
That was possible penalty. We'll just take that tackle.
Plays it
Liam Kay
to Liam Kay, and Liam Kay takes the tackle, and Leigh go in at half time in front by 16 points to 10. What a helter-skelter half of rugby. 2 early tries in the first 15 minutes put Leigh on their way, with Smith and Hock both going in, but Bradford fought back. Caro going over after 19 minutes. Leigh went further in front after 27 minutes when Worthington brushed away from 3 tacklers and jumped in on the inside. 14 points to 4 at that stage. Bradford scored at the side of the post by Kieran Moss. That was converted for 14-10, and then 3 minutes before half time we saw the penalty come in from Leigh Smith to make it 16-10 at the break. Your thoughts?
Yeah, as you said, Dave, it's been fast and furious. Chris commented that probably Bradford are just playing to try and control Leigh. They're not playing much expansive rugby. Leigh have been trying to take these quick play the balls and play the expansive rugby. So let's just hope that Neil Dukes can instill that back into Leigh at half time. Rowan Smith, well, I don't think he was rushing to get over to the dressing room, so Bradford have got to improve. Well, so have Leigh. So we'll look forward to the next 40 minutes on Leigh Centurions TV and Mixler, and we'll see you then.
Hello and welcome back to second half coverage from Leigh Sports Village of this Kingstone Press Championship encounter between Leigh Centurions and the Bradford Bulls. It's Leigh who lead at half time by 16 points to 10, and but for a little bit of sureness in defence, it could have been 16-0, couldn't it, Joe?
Yeah, as Chris will no doubt highlight it, that a couple of mistakes by Leigh's defence left themselves wide open for the first try. Adam Hickson got sucked in, and we've just been talking. I've actually just been on phone to my son who's situated in the West Stand, and he said, as we actually commented, Bradford look a bit void of ideas at times, and I think they're just trying to strangle us with the defence and push us back up near our own line. Let's hope they are still, after this next 40 minutes, still void of ideas, and we are putting the points on the board for this second half, as Mr. Campbell says. Where we go, which is what we do, the fingers on the button, stopwatch is in go, and Leigh are going to be tackling to her right edge.
Oh, good shot there, and Apolami Luaki to start off this half. It was Hopkins with the challenge. Here's Philbin running forward, only just getting up beyond his own 10 metre line. In amongst him there was Burns. Patterson also involved. Now here's Haggerty. Haggerty 20 metres out from his own line, plays it quickly. Infield it comes to Pitts.
I'm just looking at, you just mentioned Kurt Haggerty. He's got his right thigh extremely heavily strapped and he's limping on it now, so he may not last the remainder of this second half.
Addy drops his ball back to Philbin, who won't thank him for the pass, but does well. Does the on-loan Warrington forward to get it up beyond the 40 metre line. Plays it on the last tackle. Ball sent left, and Oscar Thomas kicks it long over the head of Smith. It'll bounce in behind, and it's taken in by Liam Kay. Liam Kay, 12 metres away from his line, straightens up now, tries to carry two on his back. Still wrestling with Oscar Thomas, eventually goes down, 15 out from his own line, plays it quickly to Leigh Smith. Leigh Smith takes a quick drive and wins a penalty. Smart play from Leigh Smith, smart play.
Yeah, and the penalty count was really low, Dave, thankfully. It was only 3-2 in Bradford's favour, and that's the first one of the second half.
3-3 then.
Police ends 3-3, yeah, if you say it that way, as the ball comes directly underneath us.
He'll have to kick higher than that if he wants to get me.
Yeah, I know that, yeah. But anyway, Tom Armstrong will take the first tap.
And it's a good drive from him
as well. Yeah.
Takes on Wellham. There's a good tussle at Blackpool between those two players, actually.
Yeah,
Infield it comes to Patterson. Good run from Patterson. 10-15 metres gain there. Quick play the ball to Hyam. Hyam's found a bit of space. Oh, dummies. It's opened up for Hyam. Hyam's inside the 10. Oh, he's wrestled down by Kieran Moss. Great defensive tackle there. Ball put left.
Got the numbers here, Leigh.
Here's Hopkins stepping back on the inside. Flicks the ball out. Leigh Smith cleans it up. He's back on the 20. Wrestles his way forward, but only gains 5 metres after a quick play the ball. It's then put into the middle with Travis Burns again. Burns out to Patterson. Patterson 2 metres out from the line. That's where he's tackled.
Last tackle this one, Dave.
And infield it'll come. And it's dabbed through. What a beautiful kick by Drinkwater. And Hopkins has forced a drop out from under the post.
Yeah, a drop out there isn't the worst result in the world, but I think we missed a great opportunity to get a try when it opened up for us on the left. I think it went into the wrong set of hands in Sam Hopkins. If that goes to a pivot or somebody like that, they may have had the nous to get it out wide nice and quick. He was shut down well, to be fair to him. But yeah, there's a worry here for Kurt Haggerty for Bradford. Yeah. He's getting re-strapped up. He's almost got more strapping than thigh at the minute.
I think, to be honest, it looks like they're strapping a turkey leg there, doesn't it?
He's going for the Tutankhamun look.
He is, yeah.
Good job he doesn't have pay for that strap, and he's had some strapping on and he's took it off, and the Bradford physio's redoing it. It's really should be made to get off the field there.
And I think the referee's going over now and he's having a word that this shouldn't be happening. It's just delaying the game, isn't it? I mean, the referee has stopped the clock.
Yeah.
He's not comfortable there, Haggerty, at all, is he?
No.
I'll tell you what, I've been running everything at him in the second half. See whether he can handle it.
Yeah, get Corey Patterson running straight at Kurt
Drop
Haggerty
out, gets to the halfway line. Burns is underneath it. Fash has the ball now. Charges back, gains 12 metres. Gains a couple more on contact. He'll play it to Mickey Hyam, who finds Hopkins. Hopkins surges down the middle. Luaki challenges him and tackles him 25 metres out from the line. Leigh with options left and right. Hyam puts it left. Drinkwater onto Rennie Matua. Rennie Matua inside the 20. Did well to hang hold of the ball then.
Hang hold of the ball. Make your mind up, Mr. Parkinson.
Here's Drinkwater, finds Hanson, onto Burns onto Patterson. Them two have got a real good link up, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
Quick play of the ball, Burns picks it up, sends it into the middle with Harrison Hanson, charges for the line. He's underneath the posts, he's not got the ball down, he'll play it just inside the field of play. Hyam sends it left to Drinkwater puts the ball through, it's that knocked on. Addy has dropped on it. The North Stand think there's a knock on, but Bradford have got away with it. They've got hold of the ball.
The first player just traps it with his feet, didn't he? So more pressure on the Bradford line and constantly tackling here now.
Still 16-10 to Leigh.
We've got to be squeaky clean though, Dave, haven't we? Nothing, no silly penalties, no easy yards for them. Just make them work out of this.
James Clare rolled on his back, but it's a fairly quick play of the ball once he managed to find his feet. Here's Amari Caro, scored that first try for Bradford, remember. Gets away from Fash, but he sticks to him and he's knocked on. That's a great result for Leigh in the Leigh defence.
Yeah, I think it was Fash and was it Corey Patterson and Mickey Hyam then who was Jack Russell round the rabbit then, not letting go.
Yeah, Fash just didn't give up on the tackle, did he? And it made it difficult for Carroll to keep hold of the ball. He's come up with the error, and opportunity now for Leigh. They've got to, Bradford haven't been out of their own half this half, really, have they?
No.
So they've got to make the pressure count. It's still only a one score advantage. We've got to make these opportunities count and maybe try something a little bit different to catch them out, maybe.
To be fair, Chris, it's replicating the first half, isn't it? Because this is how it started. Here's Worthington. Worthington brushes away from 2, goes again up to the 20. Lewaki lends his considerable weight to the challenge. Hyam at dummy half, puts it infield to Fash. Fash dummy, straightens up, carries Leigh 12 metres from the try line. Hyam moves it right through Drinkwater. Drinkwater short ball there for Harrison Hanson. He's got to the line virtually again. Eventually wrestled back. He'll find his feet to play the ball to Hyam, who puts it right to Burns. Burns out the back. Oh no, he stuck hold of it. It was that good a dummy, I fell for it. Leigh Smith, if he had got the ball, he would have been over.
Yeah.
Hyam at dummy half again. Burns to play it. Ball put right. Patterson will try and use brute force. He's not going to work on this occasion. There's 4 players there. It's last tackle. Hyam, short ball for Hanson. Hanson's dropped it.
Yeah, I think we got a bit lost then. I think Mickey was looking to the right, and then Travis Burns wasn't really decisive in wanting the ball, and it ended up, as you say, Harrison Hanson lost the ball in contact, so Bradford will restart on the 10 metre line.
Still not a bad place to turn over the ball, though, is it?
True.
I tell you what, there's a big moment in this game now, because Adam O'Brien looks like he's going to be coming on for Bradford. As they come, great mistake. Shot from Liam Kay. They've got away with it though with Bradford, haven't they?
Yeah, Clare's run away from 2. Heavy challenge there from Harrison Hanson. Quick play of the ball though. Oscar Thomas, he's down the field, only picks up 5 or 6 metres before Rennie Matua rattles him to the deck. Addy in at dummy half for the moment. Pops it to his left to Wellham. Yeah,
O'Brien's going to go in at dummy half now. Big moment in the game because we know how good he can be, especially coming off the bench. He's got real pace and he penetrates any defence as well.
Haggerty down the left.
Yeah, that's true, Chris. We did mention as it was
gains
funny.
10 metres. Here's O'Brien with the first surge up to the halfway line. Last tackle signalled. He's got inside the Leigh half. Moss shuffles it right to Addy, who keeps his kick low and into the corner. Challenges Liam Kay to bring it up and bring it back. And he carries it, Leigh, to the 20 metre line, so it's a fair place for starting this attack.
I don't like the look of that with 4 forwards struggling to get back there. Harrison Hanson, Rennie Matua, Sam Hopkins.
Higson with a good drive down the left though. Smith moves into dummy half behind him. Pops it to his right, to Armstrong. He tries to make an impression on the defence. Put down on his own 40.
It looks like we've
back on, isn't he?
It looks like we've responded to O'Brien's change. Ridyard's come on for Hyam as well.
Yeah, so Ridyard on at dummy half. Higson struggling in the background. Ball comes to Fash. Takes a surge. Gets inside the 40 metre line. Still going. Last tackle signalled. Ridyard will put it left for Drinkwater, who skies it. It's a high kick. What's Moss like underneath it? Brilliant take. Lovely judge take there from him. And Bradford have the ball back 12 metres from their own line. Here's Clare. Tackled by 3 on the 20 metre line. Caro's in behind him. Ball still hasn't been played though. It's a slow play of the ball. Caro takes the drive, brushes away from one. Can't escape 2 and 3, but they've won a penalty here, Bradford. Head high shot is the decision.
Yeah, we can't afford to let them get away from inside their own red zone. No respite, we've got to keep on them all the time.
Addy finds a good touch over the halfway line.
Yeah, so this is the first time, as Chris has said, this is the first time they've been in our half really in this second period. So
Kavanagh with the run to the 40 metre line. O'Brien at dummy half, pops it left to Pitts, who straightens up and he's rattled to the deck. Harrison Hanson over the top, no thoughts of self-preservation. Haddy down the right hand side, feeds it out to Mellor. Inside the 20, Bradford. O'Brien sends it right. Addy through the hands. They're playing on here, Bradford. They've got in at the corner. Leigh stopped playing for a minute there. There was hands in there from Liam Kay, and they're going to be awarded the try. Okay, who scored that?
I don't know.
I think it was James Clare actually.
I thought it was knocked down and forward pass. Kieran O'Cameron saying was it not a possible forward pass? I'm not quite sure, but that's the first time that Bradford have been down in our half, and rather worryingly they've scored. So we're
what was worrying is Leigh's lack of reaction. They didn't do anything.
Exactly so.
Okay, the call goes against them, but you don't just stop. And everybody did.
Play to the whistle, in any sport. You know, from the age of 3 when you start playing it, you play to the whistle, and that's what's cost us there. Might have been a bad call for all we know, but you still got to play till that whistle goes, and he's just been able to score there. I think it was clear, but not 100% sure who scored. But you know, Bradford are potentially going to strike level, having done absolutely nothing in the second half.
Yeah,
it's been all Leigh.
That's what we said, that you know they've soaked all that pressure up. The first time they've been in our half and they've scored, so they will gain a lot of confidence from that. And Leigh have got to regroup just to the left of our post, and we've got to make sure the next time we come down in Bradford half that we put some points on the board, because they're going to be hanging on our shirt tails now with this one. 16-14 with this kick to come. Is that Daniel Addy who's taking the goal kick there? It usually is, isn't it?
Yeah, he's sending it goalward.
And he's missed it.
16-14, Leigh still have the front.
Yeah, virtually 12 minutes into this second period here at Leigh Sports Village. And, we've got to get our second breath now. We've got to puff our chests out and get back on the horses this year. Because it's been Leigh pressure, but no points on the board. They've had a bit of pressure and got 4 points on the board in this second period.
They were noticeably quicker in that first attacking set that O'Brien was on the field. That's what he can bring to this Bradford team.
High hanging kick from Smith. Underneath it is Clare. The try scorer only runs it to his 10 metre line. Came right into the middle of the field to collect that one. Oscar Thomas puts it left to Wellham, running with a bit of venom up to the 20 metre line. After a quick play of the ball, Thomas in a dummy half shuffles it into the middle with Haggerty, who can hardly run, but it takes 3 of them to put him down. O'Brien at dummy half, trying to speed it up, puts it left to Thomas. Thomas tries to pierce his way and get over the 40 metre line, which he does, but Ridyard's there to stop him. Infield, it's moved to Albison. Albison finds Addy. He in turn drops it back for Mellor, who runs across field. No real danger with that particular play.
No.
Plays it on the halfway line to O'Brien. Oscar Thomas pumps the ball high. Liam Kay underneath it, safe as houses, takes it in. Oh, he's broken! He's broken as Liam Kay! He's taking on the fullback! He's beating the fullback! And then Moss chases back to bring him down with 25 metres to go. Play the ball comes in. Hawk runs forward, dummies, takes Leigh inside the 10. He's still going hot with 2 on his back.
Great run, Gareth.
There's 2 round his head as well. Now Ridyard puts it left for Leigh Smith, trying to bash his way through. That's not Smithy's game. Right on the try line of Leigh. Ridyard into the middle. It bounces up to Drinkwater. He finds Burns. Burns puts a step on. Gets away from O'Brien. Comes right, does Burns. Doesn't gain any further meterage. Leigh 15 metres away from the try line. Flash at dummy half, pops it left to Drinkwater. Drinkwater dummies and then finds Hanson on an irresistible run forward inside the 10. Last tackle signalled, still 16-14 to Leigh as Burns puts it right to Drinkwater. Drinkwater on to Armstrong, and Armstrong, the touch judge just said he's held up. The touch judge just said he's been held up, but I thought he got over the line.
I thought he was tackled on the line, Dave. That's last tackle play again, so
that'll be turnover. It's a good place to turn over the ball, though, is that?
Yeah, but we could have been, another 4-pointer to the board, so we've got to turn the screw here now and not let Bradford out of this 20-metre area, if possible.
There's nobody commentating.
Yeah, that's a lie then, a penalty then.
Didn't realise you were scribbling your notes.
Brennan Matua just had another bite of him then, and we've let him off the hook yet again. Another try-scoring opportunity gone.
Yeah.
That's a great kick.
Got some real distance on that, but as you say, Joe, we've missed two great opportunities. Liam Kay's denied by great defence from Moss, and I'd like to have another look at that Tom Armstrong chance, but we don't have the opportunity of the video reference.
20 metres away at Bradford. Bradford opening up. Here's Oscar Thomas. Wrestled down to the floor by Hanson in the middle of the field. 15 metres to go for Bradford. O'Brien picks it up, sends it right to Addy, who goes all slow motion but brings it back to the middle. That's disrupted. Into the arms of Moss it goes, all on way to the referee. Moss tries to dance around and he's tackled.
Patterson tapped that down, so more pressure on the Leigh line.
Haggerty at dummy half, runs it left, comes back to the right, does the whole dipsy doodle, and he's tackled by Armstrong 12 metres out from the line. O'Brien long ball into the middle with Thomas. Thomas then drops it back for Kavanagh. Kavanagh runs it 5 metres from the line. This Leigh defence is rocking. Can Bradford force a way in? Here's O'Brien, takes on Fash.
Great tackle
on Matua. And there's only one winner, and that's the two Leigh players. He's put down the right hand side to Addy, tries to thread it through. They're in here, Bradford. They've scored again, and that is Mellor, I think, who's touched it down. Little kick came in, and the Leigh defence was undone.
Yeah, definitely so, Dave. They just spied the chance down our left edge, and a kick just short of the dead ball line, but quick enough to get there. And Leigh looked really, really disjointed when Bradford are putting us under pressure. It's not a good thing to see for the Leigh faithful. We're all stood there, a couple of players are puffing and blowing, and I can see there's one substitution there. Rennie Matua is leaving the field, and Paul Wood's coming on with extra instructions. Paul Anderson's there, so it's going to push Bradford with this conversion to come 20 points to 16 if the successful kick at the moment at Leigh Sports Village. 17 minutes in, it's Leigh Centurion 16, Bradford Bulls 18, Chris.
Yeah, we thought we got away with it when Fash closed down O'Brien, but it's a lovely way to kick in. They've had two chances. They've basically, it's like in a football game. How many times do we see England at the Euros have chances and not take them?
Yeah.
Leigh have had chances, not taken them.
Yeah.
Bradford have had two, finished them off. It's all about being clinical. Whatever sport you play, you've got to be clinical. And Bradford this second half have been exactly that.
Yes, yeah, and they've hunted Leigh down, not allowed Leigh to score. Leigh have made a couple of mistakes, just fell off at the wrong point tackle wise. Daniel Addy takes a conversion and kicks it. As I said, the score now at Leigh Sports Village is Leigh Centurion 16, Bradford Bulls 20, as Dane Weston's back onto the field. So we've certainly got to pick it up now, because they have certainly got the ball in hand at Bradford, and they are certainly in the ascendancy. 18 and a half minutes in, Dave scribbling away with his notes here. It would be interesting to see this report as the ball goes.
They've let it bounce. That's a huge mistake from Bradford. Surely they've got to attack the ball from a kick-off, and Leigh have a great chance now. It's a goal line dropout. After all the work that Bradford have done, they come up with an error like that.
Yeah, Leigh Smith with that great kick, and I can see, I think Fui is coming back on for Brad Fash. just probably the impact that we need off through it. No doubt Bradford will be looking for the really, really long dropout from under the post. Let's score some points with this pressure. We need points on the board, everybody.
Yeah, so Bradford they're taking the time over the drop goals. Danny Addy's got ball in hand. They're just getting the heads back together after that big error. He's going to kick it right-footed. It goes towards Leigh Smith. He takes it. He's got Dane Weston running up alongside him. He takes it to the Bradford 30. He's pushed back a couple of metres though. Martin Ridgard trying to
scheme attacking half back.
Oh, Dane Weston's made a mess of that, but he's got the penalty. A let off there for Dane. So Leigh have the penalty 30 metres from the Bradford line. Interference at the play of the ball. It was a push, in fact, that the referee Chris Campbell.
Was that the signal he's give? So
yeah,
let off it did look a very poor play of the ball. So we take the first drive and threw it off on one of his runs.
He got 5 metres after contact there in Fui, 15 metres away from the Bradford line. Ridgard comes right with Drinkwater. Drinkwater out the back to Burns. Burns shows it goes to a couple. Leigh Smith's on it now. He's 5 metres, just over 5 metres away on this near right hand side to us. Ridgard in at dummy half again. It's a poor ball really, and Burns has put it down, and Bradford have come up with it. Another chance goes begging for the Centurions as well, and tries to shrug away from a couple of challenges. He's put down eventually by Patterson. Moss now. Blythe dances away from Patterson. He gets it out, and they've worked it well to Caro. Caro on this near side tries to duck away, but Hickson and Armstrong combine to put him down.
Yeah, it's certainly nip and tuck here.
Oh, that's a high shot from Gareth coming on Haggerty. That's not what Leigh needed. They needed to put pressure on there. They didn't need to come up with an error, and Bradford are going to have an opportunity to put it down into Leigh territory and build something from there. And they've had 2 chances and scored from them. Hopefully they won't make that a hat-trick if they create something. Addy he's not the greatest touch finder. He only gets it to just shy of halfway now. O'Brien taps. Haggerty. Thomas. Pitts takes it in eventually to the line. He gets 2 halfway, but he's pushed back by Moy, Hawk and Weston in a 3-man tackle though. They come left with Thomas. Thomas whips it round to Wellham, who dances away from a couple. He's put down eventually by the Australian Dane Weston. 40 metres away from the Leigh line. O'Brien, Thomas almost breaks through the challenge. He gets an offload away to Kurt Haggerty now. Haggerty runs 10 metres with it, bounces off Weston, put down by Moy. 20 metres away in centre field now are the Bradford Bulls. Pitts, Addy links with Moss now. Moss slows it out to the centre, Matty Blythe. They're just 10 metres away now at Bradford. Moss to Addy. He's looking for runners. He's got one.
That's Kavanagh, isn't it?
Ben Kavanagh was the witness.
O'Brien again.
Loney, and he's put out to Blythe again. He's put down on the last. Leigh survives that one.
By Leigh, yeah. But this clock is 22 minutes in, and Leigh have certainly been under pressure, constant pressure. We'll have to see how we get away from this. Our own line here now. Dave's got his breath back.
Well, I hate to say it, but Leigh need Mickey Iron back out there. Since Ridgard's gone into 9, it's not working.
The change of hookers has been the change in the game. Since O'Brien's been on, they've been far better. Since Haim's gone off,
Leigh trying to get over their own 20. Armstrong does just that down this right hand side, plays it to Ridgard, who fires it infield to Moy up to his own 40 metre line. It's a shame he couldn't find Leigh Smith. He was down the ground. Ridgard finds Weston. Weston will stretch out towards the halfway line. Last tackle signal. Leigh trail by 4 points. It comes out right to Patterson. I don't think he was meant to get it, but he kicks the ball long, and Moss is underneath it, and Moss runs it back with a free 20 metres to run into. The whole momentum of this game has swung. It's all in Bradford's favour now, although there's a couple of slow forwards getting back as Clare takes up the drive from dummy half.
The hookers have certainly changed the game around.
Oscar Thomas at dummy half now, puts it left to Caro. Big physical presence is Caro. Wrestles his way to his feet as Oscar Thomas runs forward. Feeds it to Wellham. Wellham takes a high hit. Touch judge is on. Referee has spotted it. Bradford with their 4th penalty of the second half.
Yeah, the crowd behind the post certainly saw it. Adam Higson was a judge, and unfortunately I must agree with the officials, it was high. Bad timing. I mean, Kurt Haggerty's just thrown that strapping off his thigh again, so you know he is on one leg, but he's still performing for this Bradford team, and more pressure as Addy puts it in about 23 metres away from Lee's try line.
Just looking, it's a case of trying to stop a juggernaut coming forward now for Leigh as Kavanagh runs inside the 20 metre line, gets it 15 out from the try line. It's moved left to Haggerty. Haggerty takes on Burns, steps around him, steps around Patterson. Burns gets him a second time. It's going to be played 5 metres out to O'Brien, who tosses it right. He's then further right with Pitts and Addy. And Mellor back on the inside, feeds it to Pitts. Pitts tries to dance around the defender. Leigh try and rip it out. All on waves the referee.
I couldn't see point of that action by Corey Patterson, but anyway, more pressure.
And it comes left, and that's a good tackle, Martin Ridyard on Kavanagh. Had to be up there quickly and was. 5 metres away from the try line, Bradford. They're knocking on the door. Oscar Thomas dances around a couple of players, comes to the middle, feeds it out to the right hand side to Mellor. Mellor steps one, gets away from another, gets it back on the inside to Addy. Addy then feeds it into the middle with Pitts. Pitts keeping the ball moving, comes to the left. Here's Wellham. Wellham for the line. Wellham, has he got there? No, he hasn't.
Great tackle off Travis Burns then.
Just stop there.
He then went in touch.
Carroll goes forward on dummy half, feeds it out to Haggerty, who kicks it forward. He's chasing for it. And I tell you what, Ridyard's just got there ahead of him. It's a drop out from under the post, but this is Bradford's game to lose now.
Yeah, it certainly is. It certainly is. And Kurt Haggerty, even though Gazop tried to obstruct him, he certainly showed a great turn of pace, and he's on one leg. So constant pressure on Lee's line.
Wasn't Chris Wellham, did he not have his arm on the touchline? But he was playing the ball, he put his arm on the touchline.
I don't know, Chris, I didn't see it, but if we didn't see it, the touch should certainly didn't see it.
He was stuck next to it. If I'm right, then I don't know what he was doing down there, but Leigh have to survive this one now. The pressure is
immense.
It's immense, and hopefully it won't tell.
Here's Kavanagh down the middle to the 30.
I can see Mickey Iam, he's getting warmed up there with the bib on.
He needs to get on the
touchline, he certainly does.
Pitts takes on Weston. Weston stops him dead in his tracks. 22 metres away from the try line. Bradford shuffle the ball right to Addy. Addy will look inside. It's intercepted by Gazhawk.
Just go, Gaz! Put your head down, Gaz!
Gazhawk pins his head down.
Take the tackle. Well played,
Gareth. 40 metre line inside the Bradford half. Liam Kay at dummy half. Runs it forward. Takes on Addy. Gets past him. 25 metres away from the line. Quick play the ball. Ridyard in there. Ridyard runs it forward. Ridyard dummies. 12 metres away from the try line of Leigh. Ridyard to play it to Liam Kay, who turns it right to Drinkwater, who moves it to Burns. Burns drops it back to Patterson. Can Patterson redeem himself? Almost. 5 metres away from the line, plays it quickly. Armstrong finds Burns. Burns kicks for the post. Addy drops on it, and Addy takes the tackle at Burns.
That was the wrong option for me, that kick. We should have just played a set of 6.
There was a mistake there from Wellham. He snapped at it. He's lost the ball. And that's going to be a scrum with head and feet to the Centurions. Can they take advantage? They trail by 4 here.
Yeah.
Would you get Mickey on now?
Yes.
As soon as this scrum's been
the sooner the better.
The sooner the better. Would you take off? Would you put Riddy into the half and take Burns off?
Yeah. He hasn't been
because Burns' second half has been, unfortunately, pretty ineffective.
Yeah. Good words, Chris. I must agree, you've been pretty ineffective. So I don't know what this referee's playing at altogether.
Well, Addy's down in the background.
Down, yeah. I think that's maybe a bit of good thinking there from Danny Addy.
Gamesmanship, would you say?
Take the sting out of it. They're under the cosh. They come up with a couple of errors, but you got to say, Gareth Thorpe, that's a great read to get the intercept.
It certainly was. Certainly was.
I think he did the right thing as well to just take the hit up.
That's
and settle it down.
Exactly so. So you've just said it, Chris. Settle it down. Let's play with the ball. You know, we want 6 tackles on the ball. If we can score in them 6, that'll be great. Keep them off the ball.
So Leigh move it left. Here's Drinkwater trying to step his way through the defence. 5 metres away from the line. Ridyard, what can he conjure up? He puts it left and bashing his way forward is Hanson. He's knocking on the door now. And he'll play the ball to Ridyard, who fires it back to Drinkwater. Drinkwater looks round for Burns. Burns fires it out to Smith. Smith on for Armstrong. Armstrong between defenders. He'll get to the line. They'll hold him up. In goal. It's going to be back to the 10 metre line where the tackle count will resume.
Yeah, how many times is that? 3 times we've been denied tries. So we wait. Martin Ridyard's asking what's happening. Josh Drinkwater's first receiver. He's going to get the ball here. Out wider to Dane West. A great ball. Philly's going.
Can he get the ball down? No, he can't. He's on the line. He's held up. Back to the 10 metre line, but they threatened twice within the space of 30 seconds there.
Yeah, it's constant pressure on this Bradford line. We've got to keep this pressure up. We've got to get some points on the board. The ball goes left.
Oh, it's intercepted. Here goes Matty Blythe down the other end. Ridyard chases back to stop him. 35 metres away from his line. He plays it quickly. Leigh still tracking back. Here's Clare. Clare runs it into the middle. Tackled by Hock, is it?
Yeah, did really well then to not give a penalty away, did Leigh?
With Thomas. Thomas fires it out. There's no defenders. Caro steps back on the inside. Flicks it in to Wellham, and Wellham's put it down. Leigh can thank the lucky stars.
Certainly can. This great read there off Matty Blythe, just like Gazok, as Chris said before. They was wide open then, Bradford, and had that ball that had gone in Leigh's hands would have been scoring, but unfortunately was still 20 points to 16 behind here at Leigh Sports Village. 30 minutes in this second period. Dave is frenetically writing his notes.
He's got 1,000 words on this game, you know. That's why I need the notes to be up to speed.
I think in that play though, I think it was Josh Drinkwater threw the ball that was intercepted, but his desire to get back and make the challenge, that's what you want to see. If he doesn't work so hard there to get back and get hold of Matty Blythe's shorts, he goes, and he probably scores. That was a bit not the greatest pass to Greg Worthington. He had
did well, didn't he?
Inside the last 10 minutes, Leigh have a penalty.
Big penalty that as well.
It certainly was, because as you said, Greg was stretching for the ball, so 4 penalties to 3 in this second period in Bradford's favour.
Ridyard, big boot to touch. Has he found it? No, he hasn't. It's taken in by Clare. Clare will run it back over the 40. He's heading towards halfway. He rounds through my mind. Fires it out to Wellham. Wellham straightens up and gets inside the Leigh half.
Yeah, that's more pressure for Leigh. We could have done with that kick. It was a fantastic kick, but unfortunately it didn't find touch, so more pressure on the Leigh line.
Haggerty with the drive.
Tackling like demons of Leigh.
O'Brien at dummy half, picks and runs, dances around Weston, sends it right to Pitts. Pitts waits for support. It's knocked on there by Blythe. They're overplaying here, Bradford.
Yeah,
they've got in front. They've got white line fever.
Well, they've certainly changed the stance on this game. As you say, in the first half you could have thrown a cap over them. They were so compact and just pressing us, but now they are trying to throw the ball a bit. Linda listening in says, don't panic, we'll beat them in the last minute like last time. Yeah, but it doesn't do my heart any good, and a few more grey hairs appear on my head in this situation, Dave.
I still don't understand, unfortunately, why Mickey's not on the field. He's crying out for that injection of pace around the play of the ball for Leigh, because whenever we're up this in the killer end of the field, unfortunately Ridyard's he's not going to surprise.
Whoa.
He's not going
to nearly knocked on.
He nearly surprised me then, but Ridyard's not going to surprise you by going out from dummy half usually, so I think maybe Mickey's got to be due any time soon as Armstrong takes it up to the Leigh 40.
Well, he's still stood there with his hand on hips and his
Dixon with the pick and drive. Tries to make an impression on the defence, does well to get inside the Bradford half. Good 15 metres gain there from Adam Hickson. Plays it back to Ridyard. Ridyard fires it left. Weston onto Hock. Hock onto Drinkwater. Drinkwater onto Worthington. Ball's gone down.
Addy's offside. Danny Addy was offside then, surely. When because it's come off Blythe, then Addy's picked it up. And if it's a knock on, then I thought Addy was in front of him, but
yeah.
I'll take a scrum.
take the scrum and the clock stop. 33 minutes in on Joe Wood stopwatch, and again we're always open for sponsorship for next season for Joe Wood stopwatch and polo shirts for the boys. Hopefully we can get something and be in Super Leaguers. Tom Armstrong takes the first drive from the scrum.
Yeah, 25 metres away from the try line, Leigh. Ridyard works it right to Weston. Weston puts the step on, gets inside the 20, plays it quickly to Ridyard, who sends it left to Burns. Burns onto Drinkwater. Drinkwater finds Hanson. Hanson as well to the line. Referee could rule this as a knock-on and does. Well, he thought he'd scored there at Harrison Hanson. It's going out to the 20 metre line where they'll tap it, so it was a knock-on in the in-goal area.
Again,
yeah,
I'd like to look at that.
You've just pointed out, Chris, Mickey Iams prowling the touchline. He'll not come on until we get the ball back. They'll not make a substitution while we're tackling. But I can see a couple of, on both teams, players are gasping for there, trying to fill their lungs up. And
here's Blythe trying to clear his lines. Yeah. Well caught there by Moy and Patterson and Hock. And it's Caro pushing his way forward towards the halfway line. There is a bit more structure to this Bradford attack now as O'Brien's at dummy half. He'll find Thomas to his right.
He certainly made the difference at O'Brien.
Running through the middle is Sidlow, gets an offload away. It's going towards the touchline. It's taken in by Caro and the Leigh defence takes him in.
Yeah, there was appealing to say we'd knocked it down, but thankfully we hadn't, so the tackle count continues.
It's Sidlow again. Drives Bradford forward 35 metres away from the try line. Last tackle signalled. He's put left to Thomas. Thomas kicks for the touchline. Good game management given the state of play. Leigh need to go downfield. I noticed that Sidlow has dropped on his haunches.
Yeah, but we've got to get there and form the scrum quickly.
And there isn't a lot of quickness about this Leigh side, is there?
No, we're getting there eventually now, but there's no chance of anybody from Bradford forming the scrum. The referee has stopped the clock, and just says Sidlow's dropped to his knees, and the physio's having a word. I don't know if it's a head injury or whatever, I don't know, but we've got to replenish all the Leigh players if we can here, and we've all got to get a second wind. Even us three sat up here, and Kieran, our cameraman.
Leigh's managed to make a substitute at the scrum. How have they managed that?
Because the game's stopped, isn't it?
Hyam jogs on. Ridyard comes off.
Yeah, as Chris has been crying out for it, we need Mickey to guide us around the field for the remainder of this half. 36 and a half minutes on Joe Wood stopwatch, but I think we're quite a few minutes to be added on because there has been some stoppages.
Yeah, I think we'll have another 2 or 3, won't we?
Mainly on Bradford's side, so
can Leigh break? Well, it's with Worthington. Worthington tackled. He's still pushing his way forward though. Look at that for a drive.
Yeah, that's great.
Great leg drive. Plays it to Leigh Smith, who finds Harrison Hanson, and Hanson runs and finds the 40 metre line and finds a 2-man challenge his way as 2. Hyam picks up, sends it left. Higson's there. Higson being forced towards the touchline, but tackled there by Philbin and Luaki. Play the ball comes in. It comes to the middle with Weston. Weston releases it. And Smith, is that in the middle there?
Was it
Drinkwater?
Drinkwater, yeah,
it was. Yeah. He plays the ball to Smith. He puts it left to Weston. Weston tries to step around Luaki. 25 metres away from the line. Last tackle.
We need something from this day.
Ball put left. Kick comes in from Drinkwater. It's a high one. It'll fall on the try line. And that's brilliantly taken in by Moss. Because he took it over his try line, he'll run it to the 20 metre line for the tap.
Yeah, just a bit too much depth on that from Drinkwater. He wanted it to land about 5 metres this way, but right on the try line. And again, Bradford hang on, and
Moss running forward. Now Thomas puts it infield to Philbin. Philbin dances around the 40 metre line and just pushes his way over it. Still inside their own half. Maybe not for long. Wellham injects a bit of pace to the movement, then feels the full force of Moy's challenge.
I'm just looking at Leigh Smith and Adam Higson have swapped places for
Sends
the minute.
It left. It's probably because Higson's been struggling a little, or one of them's been struggling.
I think it's Leigh Smith who's been struggling, so Oscar Thomas kicks.
Yeah. Adam Higson, does he fancy it? It's going to go dead, so it's going to be out to the 20 metre line. Tap restart. and he taps it, does Higson, and runs and twists and spins and makes 12 metres. Armstrong in at dummy half. He'll move it left to Rennie Matua, through the hands quickly onto Liam Kay, but Kay is caught. Quick play the ball. Hyam spotted something. He's going. He's made 12 metres. Can Leigh build? They'll still go down that short blind side. Here's Armstrong. Armstrong busting to the 20 metre line. Plays it to Liam Kay. Into the middle it comes. Scratchy pass, but it's cleaned up by Burns. Burns feeds it on to Hopkins, who tore his way through the middle. 12 metres out from the try line. Last tackle signal. Ball sent left. Drinkwater onto Rennie Matua, and Rennie Matua goes in. 10th try of the season for Rennie Matua, and what an assist there, Josh Drinkwater.
Yeah, and with players on the knees, Adam Higson, I think that's Leigh Smith, who's it's Tom Armstrong. Sorry, Tom Armstrong. So great ball off Josh Drinkwater. I was even going to say then, Dave, we're getting very, very close. Chris, we're getting very, very close to pick the Thomas Hale Memorial Man of the Match, but I think that ball off Josh Drinkwater has just convinced me to give Josh Drinkwater the Man of the Match. At the moment, 40 minutes on Joe Wood stopwatch, the scores are level at Leigh Centurions, Leigh Sports Village, as the ball just kicked back towards Leigh Smith. What a massive, massive kick this is going to be. 20 points each. Josh Drinkwater give the ball out wide. Rennie Matua, I didn't even see that Rennie had sneaked back onto the field after getting a bit of a breather, but he scored about 5 or 6 metres from the west stand touch line in front of the north stand. Leigh Smith's, fingers crossed, got to kick this. At the moment, 20 points apiece. There's no belief in this stadium at Leigh Sports Village.
Well, I said before, Bradford have been the draw specialists of the championship. They've got 2 draws to the name already.
Yeah, you did mention it. We drew, and they drew against Batley, did you say, Dave?
Yeah, 24 apiece at Batley.
24 apiece at Batley.
32 all at Odsal. 20 all here at the minute.
Yeah.
Where's Leigh Smith's Merv?
41 minutes on Joe Wood stopwatch, so I think we've at least a couple of minutes left because of, I'll say, some gameplay by Bradford. Players going down at critical points in the game to try and get a bit of game time back. Leigh Smith attempts his conversion.
So can Smith get up to double figures for this game in his own name? 20 points each. Smith swoops in. Right foot, he strikes it. Is he going over? He's gone over! Centurions in front, 22 points to 20.
Yeah, well, at the moment, Dave, Bradford are not going to be getting a draw, but they will be fighting tooth and nail. They'll be looking where they kick this ball. We've got to consolidate with 6 simple balls with this one. 6 drives. Nothing silly. We've got to get back over the halfway line and have a good kick, as it's a short kick off from Daniel Addy.
Oh, they've knocked on Bradford. It's been snatched here by Hawk. Hawk feeds it infield to Hyam, who gets to the halfway line. Slow it down now, Leigh. Slow it down. You're in front. There's been a little bit of a clash there between Hyam and Kavanagh.
Yeah.
Touch judges on.
I just hope he doesn't go against Mickey here. I think, as you say, Kavanagh was probably baiting Mickey, trying to upset him. I just hope he doesn't give it against Mickey for taking a swing at Kavanagh.
He has done. So penalty goes Bradford's way.
5-3 in the penalty count. Mickey disgusted with himself there.
He knows better than that as well. He's the last person you expect to, give away a bit of a daft penalty like that, and it shows a lot from Bradford. Some teams might have gone for a kick at goal, as the attendance is announced at 5,111.
Bradford go forward up to the 30 metre line. Lowacki in the middle of the field. Bradford will go all out now to get the 4 points that they need to clinch this game, as Pitts feeds it right to Addy. Addy onto Moss. Moss injects a bit of pace. He's inside the 20 and he's rattled to the deck by Rennie Matua and Josh Drinkwater. Slow play the ball from Moss. He's injured. O'Brien to his left to Addy. Addy takes on the Leigh defence. rolled over on his back. Slower play the ball. O'Brien picks up, finds Kavanagh, who finds Thomas, who finds Haggerty, kicks it forward. There's a mistake here from Hickson. Hickson manages to just shuffle the ball in goal. Well, in fact, it's just out of play, isn't it? So it's going to be a scrum with head and feet to Bradford.
Yeah, that's true. As Adam was facing his own line, and the ball, he said, went in touch. They're asking this touch judge, who's give a couple of critical decisions, the one against Mickey Iam and that decision there. So Bradford rushed to form the scrum. Paul Anderson's there behind the sticks, trying to encourage and cajole Leigh into just making sure what happens here. Nerves are a-tingling, nerves are a-jangling, as Mr Campbell's saying, let's form this scrum. So the clock is ticking, I'm thinking.
So the ball goes in, it comes out, and Addy sends it right to Philbin, who gets past one, tries to get past the second, but Weston has him. They're 5 metres out from the try line. O'Brien sends it right to Addy, and he turns it back inside to Moss, and Rennie Matua wraps him up 10 metres away from the try line, just to the right of the posts. It's moved left now with Thomas. Thomas fires it out to Haggerty. Haggerty takes on the line. He wrestled to the deck by Patterson and by Burns. Still about 8 metres away from the try line here. Referee tells him to get up and play it. O'Brien picks it up, sends it right to Thomas. Thomas sends it right to Addy. Addy puts the brakes on, turns full circle. Nobody wanted it. He's tackled 10 metres out from the line. Can the Leigh defence just keep themselves organised? It's moved left to Thomas. Thomas turns it back to the right to Luaki. Luaki's going backwards. Luaki's going backwards. He's got his arms free. Leigh have tackled him superbly there. Last tackle signalled. Ball left with Thomas. Thomas will put it on the boot. It's charged down and picked up by Moss, who puts another kick in. Oh, that's an offside position there from number 4. Chris Wellham is offside, surely. And the penalty goes Leigh's way. Listen the roar. Listen the roar.
Even I was shouting. I'd actually took the microphone away from my mouth, Dave. I was on tender hooks. My feet are jangling. They're not cold or anything like that.
You weren't doing the
John Keir.
The John Keir fingers, were you?
No. There's a North stand erupt in every decision there. The ball comes into this stand here. Just take a time here. Just Tom Armstrong, tap the ball and run with it.
It's been another magnificent game, hasn't it?
It certainly has. Mickey Iam was awarded the sponsors man of the match. I've awarded Josh Drinkwater our man of the match for the Thomas Hill Memorial. Mickey was very close. Corey Patterson again, Greg Worthington again. Just mentioned names upon names.
So Hyam picks up, runs from dummy half.
That's better play off Mickey. We know he gave that penalty away, but he's just ball up the jumper. Take your time, scoot again.
Oh, here's Worthington just when you need him to come up with a solid drive. They're trying to wrestle the ball free. He's still going forward though, Greg. Plays it back to Hyam, who finds Hopkins, who surges inside the 30 and carries Luaki with him. He'll play it to Hyam. Ball put left to Drinkwater, who fires it towards the touchline. Great touch find,
as you said before, game management.
The hooter sounds.
The hooter goes.
And Leigh have done it. They've won this afternoon by 22 points to 20. Another titanic battle, Joe Wood.
Titanic's not the word. Everybody on the edge of the seat. Nobody left. They're just actually trying to filter away now. Fantastic result for Leigh Centurions and Neil Dukes, and I think that gives us the shield for the third year on the trot. I don't think we can be caught now with that, but does that confine Bradford to out of the bottom four, out of the top four, I should say?
Not quite mathematically. Well, I'll go over to Chris because he's waiting to tell us some news.
Well, Halifax have won 62-12 at Swinton today. That's a heck of a marker from them, and it means that Bradford have it all to do. They've still got to play another team who's up there in Featherstone in the coming weeks, and you know Halifax are going to come in next week, so that's going to be a one to watch.
One humdinger. Let's make sure we can have another 5,000 crowd at Leigh Sports Village. Dave, you just run through the scores because everybody just can't wait to get out to celebrate with the Leigh team.
Yeah, well, Leigh have tries this afternoon from Lee Smith, who's also kicked 3 goals. Greg Worthington, Rennie Mature and Gareth Hawke. Bradford have scored tries through Kieran Moss, James Clare and Amari Caro. Alex Miller also touching down, but that's the difference. Although Danny Addy's kicked a couple of goals, Lee Smith has kicked 3 and the Centurions go home with the win, 22 points to 20. Thanks again for joining us on Leigh Centurions TV and via mixler.com/Leigh Centurions.